What makes a man step forward when everyone else steps back? What kind of fire burns in someone who greets death not as an enemy, but as a test? In the 7th century, when the Arabian desert was a crucible of gods, blood, and revelation, a man was born whose name would echo through history like steel striking stone: Ali ibn Abi Talib. To some, he was a warrior without equal; to others, a saint who wept in the night; to his enemies, an unavoidable fate. But courage like this does not come from muscles alone. It is forged somewhere deeper. Let us return to the beginning, quietly, to the year 601, to Mecca, a city where every stone remembered caravans, where trade ruled lives, and where 360 idols surrounded the Kaaba like sentinels of an old, fragile order. Gods of wood and stone promised protection, profit, and power, but demanded obedience. In a modest house of the Hashim clan, a boy was born to Abu Talib, a respected leader, but a man burdened by hardship. The boy was named Ali, the Exalted. No drums sounded, no omens were read. Mecca barely noticed. It was a city too busy arguing, trading, and scheming to care about another hungry child during a drought that spared no one, not even the noble families. Famine crept through the alleys, and desperation sat at every table. It was during these hard years that Muhammad ibn Abdallah, known even then as Al-Amin, the Trustworthy, made a decision that seemed small, but would shake the world. He offered to take one of Abu Talib's sons into his home. Ali was barely 5 or 6 when he crossed that threshold. What he entered was not just another household, it was a place of silence, reflection, and an unusual gravity. Muhammad was different. He spoke less, listened more. He carried something invisible, like a storm waiting beyond the horizon. Ali watched him leave for the cave of Hira, watched him return, changed, distant, burning with questions no idol could answer. The boy didn't understand everything, but he felt it. Children often do. Then came the night that split history in two. Muhammad returned from the cave trembling, not from fear, but from revelation. He had been commanded to speak of one God in a city that made its fortune from many. In Mecca, this was not just heresy, it was economic suicide. When Muhammad gathered his closest family and revealed his message, silence fell. Grown men calculated risks, elders thought of alliances, traders thought of losses. And then a voice broke through. Ali, 10 years old, no beard, no status, no protection. I believe you. No hesitation, no bargaining. What kind of child chooses exile, violence, and ridicule over comfort? Perhaps he saw what others feared to look at. The backlash came fast. Mockery turned into fists. Boycotts became starvation. The first Muslims were beaten in the streets, dragged across burning sand. Ali watched Bilal, chained under the sun with a stone crushing his chest. He heard the screams of Sumaya, pierced by a spear for refusing to renounce her faith. And this was his classroom. Ali did not grow up playing games. He grew up learning endurance. He learned when to strike and when to stand still, when to fight and when to pray until tears soaked the ground. At night, the same hands that would one day shatter shields were raised in quiet supplication. This was the paradox that defined him, a warrior who feared injustice more than death. And then came the night that sealed his destiny. The Quraysh decided Muhammad had to die. Swords were gathered, a plan was made. Warriors surrounded the house, waiting for dawn to strike as one. No escape, no mercy. That night,
Ali lay down in Muhammad's bed. He knew the blades were waiting. He knew the chances, and still he stayed. Not because he loved death, but because he loved truth more. History remembers the sword of Ali, but it was his faith, his stillness in the face of terror, that changed the course of the world. And this was only the beginning.